If you feel you are at a crossroad in your life and you feel kind of confused as to where is it I should go, what should be my next step, you know that God told you to do a particular thing, but however, you don't have all the steps, you don't have step one, two, three all laid out for you, written out for you, clear as day. I want to encourage you with Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 21, which states, your ears will hear him. Right behind you, a voice will say, this is the way you should go, whether to the right or to the left. I want to encourage you that even if you may not have all the steps, everything laid out for you, walk in the obedience and the trust of God because He will direct your path. He will tell you you should go to the right or if you should go to the left. He will give you the direction as you step out in faith and do exactly as the Lord has told you to do. And from my own experience, recently this week, this happened to me where this verse became life to me, and it was so amazing to experience it. I had to go out to get a document ready, and I stepped out in faith. I It was really just a thought in my heart. Okay, I think I'm going out to do it. I was not sure because actually that day I did not plan to actually go out to carry out that transaction. However, I decided to walk by faith. In the morning time I spent some time in prayer and I decided to ask God, God, just direct my path so that I can go exactly the way that you want me to go and do what you want me to do. And I wouldn't just be going about my own day doing whatever I want to do and not involving him. So that morning I went out to the bus stop, got a bus. Actually I missed two buses. And then I said, you know what? I was not supposed to go on these buses. Then there was another one that I was literally supposed to go on. And here is why. When I went onto the bus, another passenger came on and then she was like, drop me to that particular place. And I sat there and I thought to myself, could that be a coincidence? Absolutely not, because the Lord directs our path as we trust in Him. And then I thought to myself that I should follow the direction of God because I believe that He was leading me to that place. Because that lady asked the bus driver to drop her to that same location. And I was like, whoa. I decided to just go ahead, take the ride all the way through, pay the same bus fee, which was a blessing because I thought that I would have to pay extra for that. But God had other plans. I went in, dealt with the worker. He told me what documents that I needed, and then I proceeded on to the location that he sent me. But then when I arrived at the headquarters, I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like this is where I should be. So I stopped for a moment and I began to think and ask God, what is it that I should do? Should I go down or should I stay here and ask questions or just trying to figure everything out? While standing there in that exact location, trying to figure out if I should go to the right or to the left, there is a security officer right to my left who was like trying to figure out where to go. And then I just laughed because I was really just lost trying to figure out if I want to take a walk all the way down or do I want to just stay here and figure out what I should do next. And I decided, you know what, I'm not sure if he knows exactly where I'm looking for, but I'm just going to ask a question and then see if he can figure it out for me. And he actually directed me to the exact location that I wanted to go. And this verse, Isaiah 30 and verse 21, became life to me at that moment. I literally heard a voice behind me. Of course, it wasn't the physical structure of God because that would not happen, but He uses people, He puts people in our path to direct us along the path that He wants us to go. So in that very moment, I immediately remembered Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 21, and that encouraged me and helped me to remember that God says that He will be with me, that I should not be afraid. So when I step out in faith and do the things that I know that He's calling me out to do, I should not go out in fear because He promises to never leave me, neither forsake me. He promises to be by my side. And this verse just stood out for me that He will tell me which way to go, if whether to go to the left or to go to the right. Not knowing that I was exactly where I was supposed to be at that moment, God literally directed directed my path that day. And everything in His Word, actually pertaining to that particular verse, became so real to me. And I felt like, wow, like this is exactly what it's like to trust in the Lord and to step out in faith, not knowing every single detail. So often we like to have every single detail before we decide to step out in faith. But God is not requiring me or you to step out having every single detail. Okay, let's do this, then that. No, He wants us to trust Him blindly. Even if it means that, okay, God, I just know that you told me to get this document ready. And then we have no idea what next or what it's for. And so many times I would question God, but why? Can you tell me why this? Why do I need to do this so I can go ahead and do it? But God just wants us to trust Him with our whole heart because He will tell us which way to go. So on that day, the Lord used His word as a way for me to step on and to trust. And I was holding on to His word in every step that I took, knowing that He had gone before me and He prepared the way. Along the path, I did get a few hiccups because I did not have cash, so I had to go to the ATM to get cash. And then when I went to the ATM, my card got stuck. And then I couldn't take it out, and so I had to go into the bank and ask for assistance. But however, even while I was waiting and praying and hoping that my card doesn't come out and somebody takes it or whatever may happen, that God still covered my card. He covered the situation for me. That I believe that someone who came to use the ATM saw the card and gave it to an employee who was passing by. I mean, look at God. That even in a moment when bad things happen, the Lord has His protections over us. He has His angels stationed to protect us and to guide us and to ensure that our transactions are safe as we walk in His obedience. So I got my card, got the cash. There was a man who even showed me how a different way to use the ATM if to avoid having to slide in your card into the slot, that I could use it a different way. And I was like, wow, I never even thought of doing that. So even in those little moments, there are people that the Lord sent my way so I could learn from them, so that I could be protected, so that He could cover my stuff. And that's why we need to walk out in faith. That's why we need to trust God. That's why, in spite of, even if we may not have every single detail and we feel that we may be at a crossroad, we just trust God and do whatever it is that He's telling us to do by faith, knowing that He will take care of everything for us. So I want you to go out and to go ahead and do the thing that the Lord is calling you out to do, regardless of how you may be afraid. You may not know exactly how it's going to turn out. But if you know for a fact that the Lord has called you out to do it, then just do it. Go ahead and walk in faith and do it, because guess what? He will tell you which way to go, whether to go to the right or whether to go to the left. He will direct you. And remember that He promises to never leave you, neither forsake you. He will be by your side.